Donald Duck had a underneath an army truck. Mrs. Green saw the scene and put it in her magazine. Well, the duck is back. I'm going to try and do this tonight from the other side of the bike, because you won't be able to see what's going on with my body in the way. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but we'll get through it. Here is the brace plate that I've made for the front engine mount. Zinc coated it into a bit of high tensile plate. It drilled easier than high tensile, so it might be actually 350, but it's definitely not mild steel. If you're going to make anything like this for bikes, don't make it out of mild steel. Mild steel is like butter, and it'll just F out every time. Anyway, tonight what we're going to do is we're just going to put it in there and see if it'll fit, and then mark the bolts to length, because they're too long. I know they're too long, but I just want to see it go in, and then mark the threads from underneath, do it up, mark it up, and cut the bolts to length, and then put it back together with some red Loctite after I've cleaned the paint off the threads. But anyway, so something that I've been meaning to say for a long time is that if you're there's an old rule in the mechanic world, what I come from, and it goes like this: cleansiness is closer to godliness, and basically what that says is that you want to keep everything clean, oil free and grease free, dirt free, and that when you're especially when you're assembling, and especially in areas like what we're doing here with this front engine mount. So I've actually last night I got in here and I cleaned in here. It's all clean. Got in there, cleaned it with a rag, keroed it out, got rid of the toolbox. And for a lot of yous, other mechanics and that will see that I had the toolbox on top of the regulator. The last regulator lasted I think 16 years under that toolbox. It still catches the air, because the toolbox sits here and the air still goes through and it still cools it. I have the toolbox in the front because it's a lot of weight, and it keeps it's a help to keep that front wheel on the road. When you got your woman and your bag and all the other crap on the back, you know, hair dryer, rolling pins. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. I haven't tried it. This is just going to be the first bit we do. I'm just going to drop it down. Hopefully it'll go together nice. Drop it down so it's just touching, and hopefully I can move it. Right, make it in there. I've just zinc plated this. I'll probably paint it with black. Okay, one's gone in. It's always the first one is easy. I'm actually uploading the other video as we are doing this, the first video. What am I doing? Something else I've been wanting to mention to you guys and girls is these little sockets. This is a dual set. It's got imperial here, metric here. It's a combination set, but it's only 3/8. It's only small, and most of the stuff that you need is only small. And then, like on the final crank up, you use a proper Allen key or a torque wrench. These are the little Allen key fittings what go to that. They match up with the little 1/4 inch drive. So that's what I'm going to do. Another thing, what's really, like, lots of you will know all about this, but lots of you won't. And the other ones you can get is these 3/8, no, say again, 1/4 inch, and it's got just a taper on the drive, and that's just so if you just can't quite get onto it straight, it allows you to just angle that a bit, and by God, it makes all the difference, which you're probably going to see. So anyway, I just need to cut the yakka down. As you can see, I haven't even. Normally, you do these from the bottom with nuts. Now, whenever you're doing something up like this, or anything really, you never do them all the way up, right? Just before it's about to take up, you can see it. Feel the weight starting to come on. You just stop and you do the other one. You can see how, yeah, see, I'll show you this other fancy gizmo I've got. And this is, he's got, see, it's a big wire spring. And it's just fantastic for jobs like this, where you don't really need the strength, you just want to be able to put your bit in there. You like that? Right, that's getting a bit tough, so I'll take that out. That's why these little, I find this little combination set quite good. I've just got quite a few little handy little doodads in there now that can help me with different lengths. might have to persevere with the this is the problem with this setup. But the other thing I was going to say to you is that so I've had quite a few problems with this setup, with the original setup. So the nuts, the bolts breaking and nuts vibrating off. So I thought one time the nuts had vibrated off, so I put nylox on them and then they just got peeled off. And then I used the chassis nuts. Yeah, just a lot of, I have tried a lot of different things, so there must, other people must have had this problem. If you have, I'm keen for you to, you can peel. If you don't like putting comments on the site, that's fine. Just PM me personally. But I really enjoy getting comments on the site, especially if there's a bit of, tongue in cheek. It's good. It's what it's all about. So I'm going to have a little bit of dicking around to get this tight. It's at a point, actually, I'll just drop it off the jack because I could be fighting the jack. Never use hydraulic jacks or this sort of dicking around. The reason why you don't use hydraulic jacks is because the next day you come down, your jack's creaked. If it's a hydraulic jack, it would have creaked down. Oh, Jesus. It's looking shit up. Excuse my French. I can go back to the other one now. Obviously you can't use these little sets for really cranking stuff up. The idea of using this plate is because it nearly, when you just use a nut, it's only using the thickness of the nut, which is just not strong enough. If you have a look at these are the bolts what came out. Just shorn right off. Both of them, not very old. Look, I'm not going to do it up any tighter than that because obviously I've got to take it out. That's looking absolutely brilliant. Got about, as soon as I go around that side, you won't be able to see what I'm doing. But she's got about, let's get a ruler and measure it. That's too bloody logical. So between the mount and the frame, I've got about 5mm. That should be enough. What I'll do is I'll put it together like that. I'll ride it for a couple of weeks and then get in there and have a look and see if it's been hitting the cross member on the frame. I don't think it will. It's the tendency for them is to come up, not down, you know. As the engine torques, it's going like this, you know, when you're going to overtake or your wheel stand or whatever you're doing, the engine's torquing like this. So it's upward motion, not down. I mean, there's a little bit when you de-accelerate, but nothing to the torquing back the other way. But I'm really pleased with it. It's looking shit hot. Took me about I don't know. I think it took me about 2 hours to make it. It wasn't very long. Now, try and get the camera in there so you can see there's no room for that shred on the other side. So, well, there is actually. It's just the shape of the frame looks like you hit it, but it's sorry. So, and then what we're going to do is we'll get in there, and I'll get in there now with a I'll get in there. I'll get in there with a white pen now. I don't think I've got one here. I think it's up the other shed. Yeah. So I'll stop this now there. Mark the bolts, remove them, cut them off so they're not dangling down like that. I don't know, I'm flip-flopping on it now because what I could do is put another nut on there. Yeah, nah, this one's too close. It's got to be cut off. Yeah, I think I'll just cut them both off and put them in there with some red Loctite. I had a couple of thoughts lately on other things. So the other day, on a different matter, when I was torquing up the big nut in here, or bolt, whatever you like to call it, it dawned on me that if you put your red Loctite on there, because it's steel to steel and you want good Loctite on there, if you look up the Loctite formulas on how, what they say is they allow 24 hours for the Loctite to go off. It takes 24 hours. So, and like me, with a lot of bike shops, I've had a few bikes in here with that nut comes loose off the. Oh, I'm having a brain fart now. Of the compensating nut. So when you put the compensating nut on, be sure to wait 24 hours. Don't just wait 2 hours. Put the bloody oil in there and think that you're going to be sweet, because what will happen is the oil going swishing around, especially like that one what was on this one with the hole on the end, which allows all the oil to go in there, will wash the Loctite away, and you run the risk of it actually coming loose. So that was another thing. Both this one and the clutch, once you put them in there and you torque them up, you need to wait 24 hours before you start that bike. And it's an important thing to do. If you've got it in the workshop, if you've had it into somebody's workshop, they ring you up and they say, oh, you know, your bike's ready to pick it up, and you know they've been in here doing something to your clutch or your drive or something or other, changing the stator. Ask them the question, has it sat 24 hours, at least 24 hours for the Loctite to go hard? You know, because if they finished it, yeah, I think I've made the point anyway. Rattling on. All right, have a good one.